at a historic ceremony. In two separate meetings on Saturday, President AlSissi met the CEO of Norway's new and renewable power producers CATAC and the chief of the Australian power company FFI, discussing the ways of boosting mutual cooperation in the field of energy. Here are the details.
AlSissi met the CEO of Norway's leading new and renewable power producers CATAC, Taljer Bliksgag. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Bassam Radi said the meeting tackled cooperation with the company in new and renewable energy projects and launching an electric energy production project that will produce 3 gigawatts electricity from wind energy in the frame of the national strategy to generate clean energy. The meeting was attended by Minister of Electricity Dr. Mohammed Shukri al-Marqabi and Norwegian Ambassador in Egypt Hilda Klimsdal. President AlSissi stressed Egypt's keenness on cooperating with the Norwegian side due to its great experience in this field, with the state's unprecedented support to green energy sector as one of its main priorities to benefit from Egypt's resources of renewable energy from the wind and the sun. For his part, the Norwegian CEO expressed his happiness meeting with the president, stressing that Egypt is a rich country in the field of renewable energy and has all potentials to become an international renewable energy hub. Also on Saturday, President Abdel Fattah AlSissi met with the head of the Australian Fortescue Future Industries FFI energy company, Andrew Forrest, in the presence of Minister of Electricity Dr. Mohammed Shukri al-Marqabi, Minister of Petroleum and Mineral Resources Engineer Tariq al-Mulla, and the Regional General Manager for the Middle East and North Africa region for the company, Mu'taz Qandil. The head of state gave his directives to provide all the facilities to speed up the process of implementing joint projects related to clean energy and to benefit from the advanced experiences of the Australian companies in this regard. Ambassador Radi stated that the meeting also dealt with following up on the cooperation between the Australian company and the electricity sector in Egypt in the field of green hydrogen and green ammonia production, including a project to produce 9.2 gigawatts of electric power from the new and renewable energy and the settlement of related industries.
Cairo's 6th high-level meeting for presidents of the Constitutional and the Supreme Courts and the African Constitutional Councils kicked off. The meeting is hosted by the Supreme Council Court under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah AlSissi. The opening session was attended by the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly, President of the Supreme Constitutional Court Bulus Fahmy, Speaker of the House of Representatives Hanafi El-Gibali, Speaker of the Senate Abdul Wahab Abdul Razak, Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri, and the Minister of Justice, Councillor Omar Marwan. Deputy Head of the Supreme Constitutional Court, Councillor Tariq Shibl, said that the Saturday meeting tackled several files including the refugees, migrants and the constitutional guarantees of their rights. In his speech before the opening session of the meeting, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly said that preserving the natural resources has become an obligation for all the African countries rather than an option amid global political and economic turbulences. Here are the details.
Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouly called on the heads of top African courts who are meeting in Cairo to formulate joint principles and constitutional guarantees to protect and develop the continent's natural resources for the African peoples and future generations. Foreign Minister Madbouly made the call during a speech on Saturday to the 6th Cairo high-level meeting of chiefs of constitutional courts, Supreme Courts and African Constitutional Councils, which is taking place in Cairo under the motto of the role of constitutional control in developing African people. The Prime Minister said the African continent is an important part of a world that's facing challenges. Therefore, All Africans have to think collectively to find legal and constitutional ways that would help African states in curbing the negative impacts of global disputes on the African economies. He stressed that this will help the African people to fulfill their duty to protect the enormous natural resources of Africa for our people and the future generations, and to support the interests of the neediest strata in the societies under the supreme constitutional principle of social justice. Madbouly added that preserving the natural resources of Africa is no longer an option but rather an obligation and a duty for all countries in the continent. He added that African states have to use resources in an optimal way and invest in them in a manner that achieves sustainable development. Madbouly also praised the outcome of the previous 5 editions of the African Judicial Chiefs meeting in developing joint judicial work in Africa, reiterating Egypt's commitment to a better future for the Black Continent.
Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri received a phone call from the Indian counterpart Subramaniam Jai Shankar. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Councillor Ahmed Abu Zaid said that the two top diplomats discussed the bilateral ties and the number of regional and international issues of mutual concern. Shukri and his Indian counterpart also agreed to continue with the consultations and to arrange for holding bilateral meetings in the coming weeks. Shukri also expressed Egypt's aspiration for a distinguished Indian participation in the coming climate change conference, the COP27, due in Sharm el-Sheikh in November, stressing the Indian key role in the climate change file. Within the framework of the preparatory meetings of the actual sessions of the National Dialogue that was launched by President Abdel Fattah AlSissi, the National Dialogue's Board of Trustees held the 6th meeting of the headquarters of the National Training Academy to complete the discussion and review the rest of the rapporteurs and assistant rapporteurs for the subcommittees, and to consider the 3 main axes for the discussion: the political, economic and social. The Council decided to redivide the political axis into 5 committees, adding the committee specialized in the political parties and another 4 trade unions and the civil society to the 3 existing ones, which are the political rights and the parliamentary representation, the localities and the human rights, and the public freedom committees. The Council also agreed to add the youth committee to the social axis, in addition to the committee for tourism to the economic one, and choose Dr. Hossein Badrawi as the counselor to the National Dialogue to present the Egyptian 2030 vision. The General Coordinator of the Dialogue, Diya Rashwan, said at the meeting of the Board of Trustees considered recent proposals submitted by the members. The Council agreed on 12 candidates for the political axis and its committees and chose Dr. Ali Din Hilal to be the General Rapporteur and Dr. Mustafa Kamil Al-Sayed to be the Assistant General Rapporteur, and agreed on a number of candidates for the subcommittees. The Council also agreed on 18 candidates for the economic axis and chose Dr. Ahmed Mahmoud Galil to be the General Rapporteur and Dr. Abdel Fattah Al-Gibali to be the Assistant General Rapporteur, as well as a number of candidates for the subcommittees. As for the social axis, the Council agreed on 14 candidates and chose Dr. Khalid Abdelaziz to be the General Rapporteur and Dr. Hania Ash-Shulqami to be the Assistant General Rapporteur, as well as a number of candidates for the subcommittees. The Interior Ministry continued the efforts in combating various types of crimes, succeeding in targeting many criminal elements. During the past week, security forces have detected 38 cases of selling gas cylinders in the black markets, with a total of 2,441 cylinders, as well as 244,000 liters of oil products. Security forces have also detected 11,055 foodstuff cases and 5,040 bakery cases. In the field of traffic, security forces have filed more than 1 million violations. In the field of tourism security, 1,195 cases of antiquities possession and the illegal excavation were detected by the security forces. During the past week, more than 74,000 cases of stealing electricity were filed, with a total bails of 69 million Egyptian pounds. 2 days after his mother's death elevated him to the throne, King Charles III was officially proclaimed Britain's monarch in a ceremony steeped in ancient tradition and political symbolism, and, for the first time,